Hello and welcome to another episode of Suddenly Single. Today I've got with me a lady that I think needs no introduction. It's Sinitta, singer, performer, pop icon who's been in the public eye since the 80s. She's probably most known for her long-standing friendship and relationship with Simon Cowell. But we're here today, Sinitta, to talk about, being suddenly single, bad dates, big hopes and what it's really like to navigate love. Especially over 50. Just wanna get out of here. Hi and welcome to another episode of Suddenly Single. Please click the subscribe button if you enjoy us. We would love to know what you think of the show. It helps you not to miss another episode. And now back to our next guest. Mm-hmm. So can I just read something that was put on your Instagram in January? Mm-hmm. You said, "There's nothing wrong with starting the year single. Being alone is a gift. Mm-hmm. It's time to reflect peacefully and in your own time. Some relationships are not meant to be forever in the same mode. They turn into friendships and some just fade to pleasant memories." So how did you become suddenly single at the start of 2026? Or why did you post that?
It was about, I just think that one of the things people struggle with the most is emotional upset.
Yes.
And relationships, and Christmas, New Year seems to be the time when it happens most.
It's a very emotional time,
yeah. And some people get into relationships just to get through Christmas, because they don't want to be alone, so they have no intention of having a relationship. Just all those things.
So back to you, mm-hmm. Your relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously the most well-known one is Simon, mm-hmm. And you knew each other in the 80s when mm-hmm. he started by being your music manager, mm-hmm. because he was working for a record company.
Yeah.
But before you two got together, how old were you when you had your first serious love? Or your first boyfriend, really?
I mean, I would probably say that he was my first serious love. Like, I actually did think that, we would grow up and get married and all of that.
And have children together,
yeah. Because that's what you did. I mean, but I probably romanticised relationships. I grew up watching The Waltons and The Little House on the Prairie.
Good night, John Boy.
But as a show business kid, sort of being dragged from pillar to post all over the world just with my single mom. So you sort of idealise that kind of family thing. So I genuinely thought that would happen.
You say that your mother took you around the world a lot. What did your mum do?
My mother's an actress, singer as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've always grown up around actors, singers, music people. So in a weird way, Simon probably felt quite familiar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just like,
wearing his shorts on his skates.
I don't know if I knew him when he was skating. I didn't know him that early, but I knew him in his what I call his Patrick Swayze era, where it was the thin vests and the sort of fair. His hair was a bit like yours.
Yes, I know. Someone said to me today, "Why have you come in like Farrah Fawcett Majors?" But hey ho,
why not?
It's why not? Yeah. Yes. So you've been seeing a man from Miami, haven't you? Is that right?
Ooh, do you know what? I'm going to say yes to that.
I mean, long-distance relationships are hard, right?
Yeah, I think so. But I think once you get to a certain age and you know what you want and what you like, and if you care about someone and you get on and you want to spend time together, mm-hmm. It's actually exciting. It's fun.
Are you still doing that? Trying to do a bit of transatlantic?
Would be trying to, yes.
Yeah.
I still really like him. And yeah.
When I was younger, I had a lot of transatlantic relationships. Mm-hmm. I quite liked it because I could do my own thing.
Yeah.
And then go there and be in a different romantic city. Germany, the US, France, mm-hmm. Several times. It has advantages and disadvantages, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I do think it is a bit Mills and Boons, which you've kind of admitted that you like, isn't it? Because you can't get annoyed with someone who's not there. You romanticise it all.
Well, you don't get tired of each other.
No.
You don't get over familiar. And, you know what, I was single for a long time, like completely single for a long, long time. So I think it's easier, because you're kind of, you still have your life and you do the things, I've been on tour, I've been doing pantomime in Harrogate, and I'm sort of doing anything I want to do. And then I have this lovely person that's in my life as well. So
I think when you've got a job like you've got, it is quite difficult unless you are with somebody who's of a similar profession who understands why you're not there all the time, etc.
Yeah.
Do you think?
But the idea of being with another entertainer doesn't appeal to me, really.
Oh, it doesn't.
I feel like it's really nice when they have a completely different profession,
Oh, okay.
and you kind of don't talk about the business. It's really, you
That's
literally
refreshing.
leave the theatre or leave
Yeah.
the studio, and like obviously I would have talked about what I've just done
Yeah.
instantly, but the rest of your world is
Yeah.
just kind of, the same way they don't talk to you about their business the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say though, because I'm looking at you today, you are, you're very slim, you're very beautiful.
So are you.
You're very sort of calm, quiet person.
Mm-hmm.
But your persona on television
Yeah.
is quite loud and is very flamboyant.
Yes.
And would you say there's two Sinittas? There's
There
Simon
always
Cowell's
has been.
bikini,
Yeah.
fig-loving Sinitta.
Yeah.
And there is the Sinitta that's sitting with me today.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there always has been. I mean, I was actually really, really shy growing up, which was why it was great that I could do acting and singing and dancing, which I was only able to do because I'd grown up with my mother doing it. So
Yes.
it was kind of in me,
Yeah.
and that became a sort of outlet for being shy. Also, when you're on tour with a parent touring the world, I learned very early on that I shouldn't really make friends because I was having my heart ripped out sort of every 2 weeks because, we're leaving now and you've just declared undying love to your best friend forever and you're going to do this together. And now it's like, I'm going. And where are you going? I don't know. And you're sort of saying the names of these cities and they're too young, they don't understand. And then you realize you're never going to see these people again. And we didn't have phones and things. And, I'm talking about when I was really young.
Yeah.
But we didn't have phones in those days. So that kind of 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, flying around the world sort of life.
Yes.
So I just kind of basically got into the makeup and the costumes and kind of made friends with that world.
Yes, I can see that.
And then it was like an alter ego, I think, where I could put on the things and entertain my mother and the the intervals, and show her how I'd learned, taught myself the dance routines and things like that.
So I can see how you would shut down when you're always being moved on because it's hurtful to sort of
keep saying goodbye
to people and not getting relationships. And then you come to Britain and you have quite a long relationship with Simon and you have quite a successful music career with him and the two of you are working together, and then for whatever reason that doesn't work out. At what age did you think, you know what, I want for me my own family? I'm not going to worry about other people anymore. I'm not going to be, waiting for the Mills and Boons happy ever after.
Yeah.
When did you think, actually now I really need to do something for me?
I mean, I think I was always thinking that because I was trying to, I think, make that relationship it. I just thought, but he's a guy, and especially in those days, in the 80s and stuff, everybody was crazy, and it was nightclubs and partying and all of that. And so I just kind of thought, and actually even his mom said, just
wait,
and it'll be fine, he adores you, kind of thing. I was always wanting that. There were a few incidents where I sort of realised he's really not on the same page. And then I'd sort of go off, but then we'd miss each other and we'd get back together again. And so, his narrative was kind of, as well, just be patient and you'll have everything you want. And it was like, I assumed everything I wanted meant, the normal sort of family
marriage, the children,
life with him and things.
Yeah.
And then he met the love of his life and had a child.
Yes.
And, silly me...
Well, not silly you. And I think also it's not just you. I will admit this in myself. I think when somebody pulls away, there is something in your nature that wants it more. So you do try harder and you do forgive them for things that maybe you wouldn't.
Yeah, I think I was always obsessed with Simon there. I think it was just that kind of sweet spot, that sort of, that
Where
sort
did
of
you
Dudley
first
Moore.
see him? Where did you
I
first
met him in
see
a nightclub that I shouldn't have been in at the
You too
time,
young.
the Embassy. Yeah,
right, okay.
Mark Fuller's club. But he was like a mixture of Dudley Moore, Patrick Swayze, you know, he had all the cheesy sort of lines, you know, when you're young and they're saying the stuff that people say in the movies.
Yeah.
You know, he actually said that.
All
and
all
the corny lines, and I was getting that, and it was like being in a movie, you know. And I just loved it. And, you know, and then I loved his family, which doesn't help because, you know, I fell in love with his entire family. Yes. It was like, I see myself in this.
Yes.
And, you know, my mom got on with his mom and it all worked so well. So to me, it was kind of done deal.
So when he did fall in love with someone else and have Erik, you know, that how did you deal with that? I mean,
Not very well.
Not very well.
No, because it was like
very honest.
The end of an era, you know, because it had always been off, on, off, on, off, on. And I just thought that we used to call ourselves Tom and Jerry, you know, even though we didn't used to actually have physical spats or anything, but it was just this kind of emotional roller coaster that we'd be on, and then it would be paper. Okay, well, if he's done that, well, I'll date, you know, Brad Pitt, I'll date Tom, I'll date this model, I'll do this. But actually, always intentioning that, you know, we will be together when we've stopped just being crazy, because I would have been ready to go at any time, but it was like my pride, and also because it was quite public, sort of needed me to sort of go and have a retaliation relationship to show I'm not desperate, you know, I can get somebody else.
And that's what I was going to bring up, because before he had Erik, you had your children, and you had been in a serious relationship, hadn't you? So, you know, had you on some level accepted that actually to have the family that you wanted, maybe that wasn't going to happen with Simon? And
there had been a stage
together
when I did that
would not happen.
Yeah, and it was even a bit of a sort of knee-jerk, angry reaction, even getting into that relationship. But the man that I married was actually a lovely person, and we did really well together, and he had children, so I became stepmother to his children, and it was all sort of pretty tickety-boo, considering it was a bit of a revenge move at the time, but it developed into something. But even during that relationship, it was obvious that there was unfinished business, I suppose. You know, not that we acted on it during the relationship.
No.
But
And are you friends with your ex-husband?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
You are, so you get on well?
Yeah, we get on well. I mean, he lives abroad, but, you know, we don't hang out, but we never fell out either.
Yeah. So during the time that you were single, did you go on any dating apps? Would you do that?
Yes.
You did?
I went on one dating app and I was booted off because they didn't believe I was me. They
that
thought I was a
happened to Tim
catfish.
Vincent, you know.
Did it happen to Tim?
It happened to
because
Tim.
I told Tim that when it happened to me.
Well, he told me that it was quite funny actually, because he said, "What dating app are you on? Because I can't get a decent date." And I said, Match.com. And I said, the reason I'm on it is there's millions, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, the likelihood is the smaller, the more exclusive, the less people there are. So.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So he said, oh, God, he said, I've had a letter from Match.com saying, don't worry, someone is impersonating you. And we have blocked them.
My account was blocked. And, you know, it was really sad, actually, because the day that I'd sort of signed up to it, I had so many people sort of going, oh, hi, Sinitta, you know, if it's really you, would you like to, you know, and I had so many reactions and I was a bit overwhelmed because, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. And then I thought, okay, let me just leave it a few days because it comes into a sort of inbox a bit like WhatsApp. So I was like, I'm talking to all these strangers, this is so crazy. And I was going to go back to it and start to sort of see. And I've been frozen, my account.
Because they couldn't believe you were actually on
that
it.
I was on. And then I did an interview with Pete Wicks, sort of on Zoom or something, and we talked about it. And the girl that he used to do his radio show with, I can't remember her name now, but she'd had the same thing because they were asking me, you know, how Pete is, you know, with the long hair and the blue eyes and everything. And I was saying, well, you're gorgeous, you know, and just sort of flirting with him. And then, oh, well, you know, what are you doing? Are you single? So I told them. I said, well, actually, this has just happened to me. And then she went, that happened to me as well. And then Hinge heard about it. I don't know if they happened to be listening to the show or if the papers told the story. And then they contacted and said, sorry, Sinitta, we didn't realise it was you. We've reinstated your account and everything. But then, of course, I had all these crazies.
Okay. Well, yes, but Tim has some advice. It is you have to be in the game to win it.
Stop it. I dated Tim as well. Did he tell you?
He kind
did
of
go on some
touched on
dates.
it.
Yeah,
yes, he
we
said
went
you'd
for that.
gone out a few times.
Yeah,
but
he
I
was
didn't
lovely.
push it because that's up to you too whether you choose to tell me or not.
No,
But,
we did.
yes,
But,
I can see that you're Tim's type actually.
he was
Yes.
definitely my type.
You famously quit Celebs Go Dating, didn't you?
Yeah.
Why?
It was awful. I mean, they didn't introduce me to anyone that I could be remotely attracted to. And I don't think they got me. And I sort of, because they got it so wrong, I wondered if I'd been cast to sort of have a fit, that they thought I'd be a bit of a Vanessa. Because remember when Vanessa did it, she was like, who the bloody hell is this? And she flipped, didn't she? They didn't introduce me to anyone. And I actually thought, I don't think you're really trying, because these people, like one man lived, not Abergavenny, is it Inverness? Literally the other end of Scotland. It was like, come on.
But you have had some people who have tried extremely hard. Now tell me whether this is a true story. You woke up in the Middle East to find a Rolls Royce suspended on a crane outside the window with an invite to dinner. Can you tell us about that story?
Yeah. Gosh. So this was in Abu
trying.
Dhabi. Yeah,
Right.
That's really trying. You see, it was wasted. I was young, wasted on me. Completely wasted. In fact, I fled the country, sort of
Why?
thinking,
Because
I just thought, you must think I'm
frightened
like...
you.
Yeah, because it was in Abu Dhabi. I think I want to say late 80s. Late 80s.
yeah,
So it was
okay.
before people were really going
Yeah.
to Dubai and Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi. And I just thought, this is not a standard. Well, it's not standard, is it? A crane outside
A Rolls Royce?
outside my bedroom window. And I'd already declined, politely a few other times, and I was being sent things. And I think because it was so transactional, I got scared, sort of thinking, maybe they think I'm a prostitute, because they're very modest in the Middle East. And maybe they sort of think, because she on stage, because I was performing inside the palace.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
No, I can
outdoor.
see that.
That I
Yeah.
thought maybe they sort of think, if we give her goats and horses and Rolls Royces, she'll sleep with us.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of wanted to go
Okay.
home. It's like, I need to go home now, please.
Okay. What have you enjoyed more, being in a relationship or having that quiet single time where you can do what you like?
Ooh, that's quite juicy, because I used to not like being single, and I used to go from one relationship to the other, but like a monkey, not let go of that branch till that one's there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, I had the time of my life. I kind of realised who I was, because I was very used to, maybe because, past relationships, but I learned to kind of bend myself to someone else's wills and wishes and things like that. And the only thing that would make me retaliate was infidelity, and that's when I would just take off, because it hurt my feelings so much. So to actually be like, do you know what? I don't even like this. I don't even like that. And, to have time to grow up and grow into me and realise, what I'm actually all about. And it's like, I'm not some chameleon who's supposed to just, mould and change into, whatever the next man kind of idealizes. Our generation, you're shown all these things.
Yes.
And, when you're young and you're impressionable and you believe it.
Yes.
And it was like, if there's one love of your life, I know that this is mine. So I've just got to weather the storm until it comes together. And then you kind of realize, well, hang on a minute. I can't be if she is his.
Yes.
And also, with Erik involved, who I'm Erik's godmother, Simon's godfather to my children. It was kind of like, you know what, even now, not now, but then, even if that want to work out, it wouldn't feel right to get back them now, because, she's,
it's moved on too far.
yeah, she's moved on. I'm Erik's god, but he knows me as Mummy's friend, because she and I were best friends.
Oh.
So it's kind of like, you know what, it's too...
I didn't know that.
It's too...
you and Lauren?
Yeah, we were best
Wow.
friends. That's how
they met?
they knew each other, yeah. But we still worked together, and we still got on with it. So I did a lot of I think, self-harm by trying to squash all my feelings and
Did you
just
ever use
be
therapy? Ever have therapy?
I had therapy, not about that, but about other things, and you kind of realise, so it still did help me with that in the end as well, because I sort of realised things like talking about the children and kind of wanting an anchor, and I think I'd sort of made him an anchor, because apart from my mother, he was the constant person in my life, and when I'm on tour and becoming famous and all of that, there was still him everywhere, or him, at the end of the phone, or to send a fax to, or whatever. So I think I'd kind of found a sort of security in that person, because when I met him, even then, my mother was on tour all the time, and his parents were almost being like guardians to me as well.
Okay.
So when you kind of start figuring out those things, you sort of go, oh, so that's why, and that's why I did that, and and that's why I thought that, and then you kind of hit this age where, I don't know if it's the age or something, but things fall into place and you can see things a lot clearer. Or you're not afraid to see, because that's the other thing as well. I really didn't want to see the truth. I didn't want to have to realise that he doesn't love me the way I love him. I didn't want to know that.
I've been in a similar situation, didn't want to hear that he was not in love with me, but best thing ever in the long run, to be honest.
Because then so that's my thing that I wrote at the beginning of the year, when you can release with love and have a friendship and all those things, and it's like through sort of teaching, my younger self, my daughter, that you're actually teaching yourself the same, like you see, and I really want her to have it now at 20, not have to wait until she's in her 50s
How
for
brave
the
are
penny
you
to
at being
drop.
single? Would you go on holiday on your own?
Yes, and I have
You would?
done.
Oh, you have done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But I was a very early kind of wellness type, sort of, like the offstage Sinitta. So I like doing yoga, Pilates, having massages, being barefoot in beautiful places with nature and all of that. So all of that stuff's really healing as well.
Yeah. Is there one thing that you would not compromise on again in a relationship?
In a relationship. One thing I would not compromise again. Bad sex?
Oh, yeah, bad sex. Oh.
Can't do that ever again.
Everybody.
Never again. I've learned far too much.
No, we don't want to do that. Revealed a lot about myself there. That's a no. We've all had it. Yeah. Suddenly single. This is my honesty box.
Yeah, I'm coming up.
Plastic Fantastic. Tweakments?
Tweakments?
Yes or no?
Yes. Would you do them?
Yes,
you have them?
and I have done them. And you know what? I'm even thinking about a facelift.
Oh, I've
Don't
already
tell my
had
mother.
one.
Did
and
you?
I'm thinking of having another one.
You can't have
I'm
it.
thinking of having 2 in a decade, because that's a good story, right?
When did you do it?
Or the other thing, I'm thinking of having my brother wants one, so we might do the
Go
brother
together and
sister
do it like a
facelift.
trip.
Yeah, like
okay,
a trip.
well, let's all go together.
Yeah, you can come. You can come.
This sort of thing, having all this sort of mini treatments and things in the end, just, so I spent a long time having filler removed. Went the one stage where I lost so much weight, and I had filler to sort of try and hold the face up. But then it was awful. So now taking it out, and and you see all the dents, and I can see this starting to happen, and it's really weird because I've been in the mirror going, maybe, you know what? And honestly, I have friends who are like 40 and 45 going and getting facelifts, and they said that their doctors said
I had mine
it's
in my
better
late
to do it
40s.
when you're
I
younger
did,
because then your skin snaps back. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, if black doesn't crack, if I do this now, then I'm going to
Yeah.
be good until I'm 80 or something when I don't care.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, let's
I'm
go.
with you on
Let's
that one.
go.
Right, okay. How important are looks and an outfit on a date? What he's wearing?
Ooh.
How he's presented himself to you? How important is this?
Unless he's drop dead gorgeous, which of course would then probably be very distracting. You wouldn't care what he was wearing. I think it does matter. I think it shows he cares. You don't want sort of, unless you really like a bit of rough, you don't want like dirty nails and.
Yeah, so you're
all
more of
that.
a suited and booted.
Well,
than,
not necessarily, but smart casual. But
Yeah.
smell good, look good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
okay.
I will.
Yeah. Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So we've done these two.
Done those
So any
two.
of these three.
Okay. What is the best date ever?
You've ever been on?
Like a first date or just a
Any
date period?
What's the most romantic date a man has ever taken Sinitta on? As I imagine it's pretty special.
Yeah, there have been some special dates, I have to say. I have had a lovely weekend in Paris, which was lovely.
Oh.
And it wasn't just that we were in Paris, it was that when we went someplace to a bar for dinner, I arrived and the barman came and brought me my drink and all of that. See, I'm a bit of a, like I said, romantic movie girl.
You
so
are.
the fact that the waiter came over and had my Don Julio on a club of ice and all of this, and I was like, oh wow, he knows what I drink. And
That is really lovely.
it was really sweet, yeah.
So, how important is being fit in a relationship? Well, I think you might have
For
just
me or
answered
for
that
him?
then. That he's fit.
Do you know what? If he's not
no.
fit, I'll get him fit.
You'll
I'm
get
not-
him
I'm
fit. So
prepared to
that's
do a
not
bit
gonna
of work.
put-
They don't
that's
have
not
to
gonna
be
put him off,
ready.
put you
I'll,
off, right?
I'll get them fit.
Okay. So that's fine. This is the last one.
What is the worst date you've ever been on?
It's the opposite end of
Yeah.
the spectrum, right?
Okay, so do you know the Arts Club? Arts Club
Yes,
Dover
I
Street.
do know
Right,
the
it's
Arts
lovely,
Club.
right?
Beautiful.
Beautiful Arts Club. So I'm a member.
Are you a
It was
member?
through an
Very
agency,
nice.
and it was, well, you were told not to exchange messages online or anything, and not to have the first date should only be 45 minutes. So that way, if it's nice, you'll want to see each other again. If it's awful, you haven't been stuck for 2.5 hours like
Yeah.
poor Vanessa. So I met this guy there, and it told him where it was and what it was. And he arrived, which does the dressing bit again, in bicycle clips clipped onto his legs, and riding cycling gear in his helmet and this, that, and the other. And then he brought it all, his backpack and everything, all to the table as well with him into the bar instead of checking it. So when you're sort of thinking, not really the place, but okay. And then as we sat down, he was sort of looking around and he was saying, I hate these pretentious places, and I hate the pretentious people who go to pretentious places like this. And I'm like, okay.
So you come to my club.
Come to my club
insult
to
it
insult
and
me.
Insult me.
And I've dressed and everything. I've ordered a glass of sparkling water because I was thinking, I'm not going to drink, so I want to see who. And
Yeah.
if it's nice,
Yeah.
then I'll have a drink and we go.
Yeah.
So I've had a glass of sparkling water. I think he had a glass of still water or something like that. And we're making conversation, but it's really stiff. It's really slow and dry
Yeah.
and difficult. But I'm just being polite, thinking, 45 minutes, okay, 5 more minutes. And then the bill came for 2 glasses of water, 1 still, 1 sparkling, and he said, shall we split it?
Oh, yes. You're going off to Miami soon for a very nice time, aren't you?
Well, we'll see.
So
We
she's
shall
pushing
see.
it again.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you look good in a
really
bikini,
lovely.
let's put it like that. Miami's
Thank
a
you.
nice place to go.
ball. Good thing
Leaf
about the leaf
bikini.
dress is it actually covers more than you realise. It covers more than a bikini.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, people don't realise that. Wow, that was so risque when you wore those leaves. And I'm like, 3/4 of my torso is
Was
covered.
covered.
You're only seeing me from the thigh down in my
I
arms.
guess it's because we weren't used to seeing it, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was part of the reason, because I'd been told the night before, oh, what do you mean you're not wearing a bikini? And I was like, I'm not bikini ready. Like, sorry, guys, I wore a bikini. Just because I wore a bikini last year doesn't mean, like, it's not in the contract that I'm supposed to wear a bikini. And they were like, oh, come on, Ash, you've got to do it. And so I did that. Because I was
Yes.
like, I'm not
Who came up with that idea then?
just of me and one of my gay
You
friends
did?
in LA. It was like,
Just
come
get some-
shopping with me for a bikini, and I was explaining why I don't. And we were driving past this nursery. It's actually a British nursery plant place, and we went in, and it was like, oh,
That's it.
let's how about? And it just
Yes.
came like that. But I didn't actually think it would make the cut, I must admit. I thought we'd do it. They'd all roll about laughing, Richard Holloway and everything, and he'd say, okay, cut, go put the dress on that
Yeah.
you brought and
Yeah,
let's get
yeah,
on with it,
yeah.
kind of thing.
You just did it for a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's an iconic moment, an iconic TV moment. So,
Yeah.
Sinitta, thank you for coming in and being
Thank
so honest
you.
on the show. You really have been.
Thank
You've been a
you.
delight. It's really
Oh,
charming.
thank you.
I've
I'm
loved
glad it's not
talking to
disappointing.
you.
People always go, you're so quiet, you're so little. And it's like, sorry.
You're not quiet.
Come to my show and then I get big and loud.
Well, that's the theatrical Sinitta, but we've
Yeah.
had the real Sinitta that I've really
Yeah.
enjoyed today. So thank you. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
And let's go do our faces together.
Yes, let's
Oh
go
my
and
God,
do our faces.
with our new men.